That was rough. See, the problem is, there's really no leverage to look over. We got these cars right here. Yeah, hopefully we got it.
I had to go back up. I just had a feeling that the clog was still there.
You see, at this point, I only checked the box because I was going to allow Michael to clean it out with the rod. But then something told me to go back up and check up here. Maybe that clog was inside of the elbow of the gutter. And I'm glad I went back up. But the problem here is we can't find the downspout leading into the ground with that PVC piping. We have no idea where it runs to. I believe it runs to the sewer system into the street, but I'm not sure because we couldn't find the sewer cap where it would run into. But the problem with the cars, the neighbor has this car wrapped up and the owner came out. I didn't have it recorded, and we should have just flat out told him to move his car. We thought he would move it on his own. At that point, we just worked around it, which was our fault, and all the debris shoots onto the neighbor's house, so we had to rinse that. And as you see, as I'm going up, as I went up, Michael was already going to clean that out with the pole, but what we noticed from the ground was that the owner said they saw water overflowing in this area right there. The gasket, the seal between the gutter and the elbow is dried out, so water's sliding in between that metal. We would have to go back over and talk to the owner, but he had left at this point. I think at this point, I'm explaining to Michael that we need to bring the 32 over to the other side. We need to get a look on the left-hand side of the next neighbor to the left. So Michael, we're going to move this ladder over that way. My GoPro must have slipped into, I forget the mode, but else I might have accidentally double tapped it, so it's on high speed. So I'm doing a voiceover as we go along. And the problem with this, dealing with this ladder in that area, there's a hill behind me, steep off to the left, so I had to be really careful not to step back and trip over a branch and the ladder's going over to that next side, because that's a very heavy ladder. But as you can see, there's a hill, and trying to get in that spot was kind of rough. But see, the side to the left, there's a whole bunch of bushes that is very hard to get to. But the fortunate part is most of the debris is to the back of the house. There's no tree. The tree line is low, as you can see. So there was nothing much. It was nothing in these gutters over here. So I just sprayed a little bit just to force it down, so when we get to the back we can grab it. See, it's not easy being that high up. The ladder's almost straight up, and as you can see, it was overflowing in here. And we got it to shoot out. That's where the main clog was that the customer was concerned about. But he had two other clogs in the back, which you'll see. But we do the customer across the street next to the new construction, and we do the ones two other houses down. So everybody pretty much knows us in this, on this block, but pretty much in the whole Virginia Highland area. A lot of people recognize our trucks in that area, which is a good thing. But this house is kind of difficult to take care of. Not the driveway side, but that side over here where I'm headed to now. It's see all those bushes off to the right. But we found the outlet right here, which was I knew there was one on the neighbor side, but I couldn't quite remember where it was located exactly. But see, I believe that pipe that I was just cleaning a second ago runs somewhere in that street going out into that sewer system. There's no outlet. We couldn't find it. That tool is great for straight shots in the gutter. It's great for that, but it's not really good for corners. So you would still have to go up and pull that debris out the corner, because what happens is you would think you've gotten all of the debris out, but what it does is it pushes it onto the roof, and then the customer could step back if he had that type of room, and you would see it laying on the roof, the debris laying on the roof. So that pole is excellent for straight shots, and it keeps us from going up and down on the ladder. So we can finish a property in 45 minutes versus 2 hours. And if we had to walk the roof, well, Michael's not walking the roof, so you can forget that. But he's not even gonna get on a ladder that high if unless he had to. And this is what I was saying about those ladders. They're pretty heavy, especially the blue tip ones. I think those are like 300-pound capacity. Now we have a 40, which is much bigger, and it's extremely heavy. So you need two people to handle it. But it can handle 300 pounds. This ladder can handle 300 pounds. You see here, this is where I'm telling Michael to get up, and he's looking at me like, yeah, he's not going up there. He would if I, demanded you going up, but we don't have time for that. I have my job and he has his. And that makes the job flow a lot easier when you got people who know what they're doing, and he understands exactly what needs to be done. I don't have to say anything to him now because he's been with me since he's been working with me since a little boy, but once he graduated high school, he was able to come on board. And he used to be late a lot when he first started at 18. Once he got out of high school, he didn't understand that he needed to be on time, and the customers were expecting us to be there when we said we would be there. So that was a long fight of getting him to understand he needed to be on time. But he's pretty much got it now. But as you can see, that tool is great for straight shots. But as you can see, there's that L-shaped gutter. That tool is not good. If you got up there in the corner and you pull the corners out, the tool is great. But as far as not lazy, but a person thinking that tool is 100%, no. 75% is great on gutters, but you still have to get up there on the corners, or if you had debris in the valleys of the roof line, you would have to still get on the roof. But that's a lot easier versus doing a whole roof or walking the entire roof, because after so many years, your ankles will be in trouble. So it's good to have certain tools that can do the job without struggle. Now, I could have put the 32 or 28-foot ladder in that position where the garbage cans were, and it would have made it a lot easier to go up with the 28, blow that out with a blower or with the pressure washer within seconds. Both areas we could have did with the 20. You're going to see me bring the 24 right there, and that would have taken seconds to clean out. I think I'm going to get the 24 now, because I'm realizing if I don't say anything to Michael about it, he won't think about grabbing a ladder, because his initial thought is he doesn't want to be on a ladder. And I can understand that. A lot of people don't like getting on ladders, but sometimes it's easier on your body just to get the ladder, go up, conquer that fear, go up there and push it out real quick versus standing around trying to use that tool to complete the whole job. And sometimes it's just impossible. But sometimes fear will keep you from making the best choices. See, that's why I went and got the ladder. I was standing there, I'm realizing he's going to try to use the rod to clean out that gutter, and that's just going to be a waste of time. By Michael putting the ladder there now, we can go up real quick, clean that out, look down the right side of the house, and you can tell exactly where everything is. So I think maybe the beginning of next month, I'm going to buy a drone, which we have a drone, but it's one of those 2-minute battery. We need to get a more expensive drone and go up, sweep the house, and then you can tell exactly where everything is and where you need to go. The guy said he came out there and he was talking to Michael, and he said, as you can see that staircase, there's a ladder there. He used to do the roof himself. He said he had a stroke, and that was it. He couldn't get back on the ladders anymore. But the main thing is going about the job with the least amount of stress. And that's why we can get done with the job pretty quickly, because we have all the tools to complete things. And most small businesses, they don't put their money back into getting the tools. So here we don't have to walk the roof. We can clean out a side in less than 2 or 3 minutes. So when we called back to the office, we told them we were done. They were like, "You guys can't be done. You did 2 houses that quick?" Yeah, we did 2 houses in less than 3 hours. Then you can go about your day and do whatever else you want to do, or go back to the office and handle your paperwork, which we need to get better at. After all these years, we still not, Well, we have someone in the office, but there's small things that we need to maintain. So I'm going up here. I scratch my back going up that section because it was so close to the neighbors. That's the only thing about Atlanta. Some houses are extremely close. But sometimes you get customers see that section's clean, but Michael will have to go around. All the debris was mainly about 15 feet, maybe. See, everything is clean, but Michael's going to still come through and flush that side out. But sometimes you get customers, they can get irate. I've had one customer, it was actually their tree causing all the problems in the house we were doing. But the house was so close, when I was blowing his stuff off, I was blowing it onto his roof, which I normally clean his roof, but he's not home, so he doesn't know that I get on his roof and blow off the debris off it. His leaves off of his roof. And this day he was home, and he was he came out cursing and a whole bunch of stuff. But I think the problem was he was no longer able to maintain his home, and I think he was a little jealous at that point that this person was getting work done and he couldn't afford to get it done, or because his house was much smaller than the customer's house, and you wouldn't think people would get jealous of that, but they do. You see, I'm taking the tape off. We have to put tape on it now because sometimes you can overscrew that plastic in it, and I'm forgetting that Michael still has to flush that side, so we're gonna have to come back with it again. I think Mike was going to remind me that we're going to have to come back with the pole again. I'm not even, my mind was on cleanup because I looked in the gut and I realized there's nothing up there, but you still need to flush out the granules from the roof and get that out of there. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I became so dependent on the pressure washer to clean gutters because here's what I've noticed in the 26 years of me doing business, that the other guys that clean gutters, they use blowers. Nobody's using pressure washer on cleaning gutters that I've seen, and I've been doing it a long time. They walk the roof, they in and out in seconds. They blow all the debris down the downspouts, causing clogs. We use water because then we can see if there's a problem. The problem is the guys that do it with the blower, they're in and out. It's two guys, they can walk the roof in literally 15 minutes because they're tied down with the harness. Somebody's sitting on the peak of the roof, the other person's walking, and they're moving quickly because I used to do it that way. It's a lot quicker. The problem is, say it rained the night before and they're cleaning the roof. The debris inside is wet. They blow the debris out. The debris comes down. They leave the debris on the fascia board, the soffits, and it's a mess. They don't clean up after themselves because that takes time. Now we might take, say they walk the roof, it takes them 20 minutes. It might take us 40 minutes. But we're also rinsing everything down, washing down the house, so it would look like we were never there. But you can tell with these gutter guys, they've been there because the mess they leave behind is it's unreal. It's unreal, the mess that they leave behind. So I became so dependent on the pressure washer because it's just me and Michael, and we have to get in and get out. But since Michael doesn't walk the roof, and I had a one guy years ago that used to walk the roof with me, and I loved when we worked together because he knew exactly what to do. We would get up on the roof, I'll harness up, and we're in and out. But what I did notice was we weren't able to check like downspouts. Then you're getting clogs everywhere because of the downspouts. Sorry, I had lost my train of thought there for a second, but yeah. And see, this is what I was talking about, rinsing off the house. Most of the time, the gutter guys, and I don't know the gutter guys personally, but I do. We all pretty much see each other throughout the metro area. Everybody recognizes everybody's trucks, especially the gutter guys and the window cleaning guys and the pressure washing. We all pretty much know each other's trucks. See, that's what I was saying about that section there. Michael's trying to squash the water out of the leaves. He's making grapes. Here's the funny part. I'm going up towards the front, and there's a lady right there and her husband. That was the house we did this morning. And we were blocks away from her house. So we went to her house around 8:30, quarter to 9. And she was telling me, she said, Michael, y'all left a brush on the back patio. But the funny thing was, we were blocks away from her house, and her husband went for a walk. So a lot of people in these areas, they pretty much know us. And then when we got to the gas station to get fuel, I ran into another one of our customers that's been with me for 20 years. So a lot of people pretty much know us in this part of Atlanta. We're pretty well known, which is a good thing. Well, we're done with the gutter. We're just in the process now of wrapping up. Um, that house that I pointed at, that house is extremely tall. I would hate to have to clean the windows or the gutters at that home. But luckily, the tree line is nowhere near as tall as the roof. But we're done. So see you guys later.